Okay, so here is the last of the videos, and that is ratios and rates. Here we go. Okay, so ratios, what they do is they allow you to compare amounts of two quantities of similar units. Okay, they're written with a colon, and they can be simplified like a fraction, but they always have to have whole numbers, so no decimals, nothing else allowed. So let's have a look at this one, which is simplify 200 milliliters to 800 milliliters. Okay, they're already in the same unit, so I'm ready to go here. The second one I'm going to do is simplify 600 meters to 2 kilometers. That's not in the same unit, so I'm going to have to deal with that first. Okay, if you have a look at the 200 and the 800, they're both divisible by 100. They're also both divisible by 200, so I'm going to divide them both by 200. There we go. And that gives you the ratio of 1 to 4. You don't even actually have to put the unit on it. Second one, I've got to get it in the same unit first. So 2 kilometers is going to become meters. Okay, there we go. All right. So I've got converted it first. Now I'm going to look for what they can both be divided by. So they're both divisible by 100. They're also both divisible by 200. Okay, knock them down. And then we've got the ratio 3 to 10. Okay, pretty easy. Generally, in a word problem, you won't have to do this. It's just if you're generally playing with ratios. Okay, here we go. Fuel mix has a ratio of 4 parts oil to 21 parts petrol. What fraction of the mix is petrol? Now, the important piece here is how many parts are there in total. Now, if you have a look at this, there are 4 parts oil and 21 parts petrol. That is a total of 25 parts. Okay, now we have a look at how many parts of petrol. It is 21 over 25 because it's 21 parts petrol over 25 parts in total. If I want to know what the percentage of the mix is oil, then that's a little bit very similar. Okay, the total parts, as we know, is 25. Sorry about that, boo-boo. Okay, so the percentage of oil, if you have a look, I've got 4 parts oil over 25 parts in total, and I times it by 100, and that tells me 16%. Okay, let's get on to the good stuff, which is what happens. I'm going to split in a given ratio. Okay, so the steps here are to add the parts. Okay, all right. The second thing here is to then add the parts, make a fraction, and then multiply by the total amount. Okay, so let's have a go with this first one. I'm going to split $1,400 between two people in the ratio 2 to 5. Now, the reason you do this is that if somebody put in more money than somebody else, then they shouldn't get all the money back, if that makes sense. In other words, if I put in $10 and you put in 20, I shouldn't get half of the money back. Okay, so total number of parts here, of course, is 7. Okay, we're going to make a fraction. Okay, keep the order of the ratio in the same order. So let's have a go. Make the fraction. So that means I've got 2 over 7 because there's 7 total parts, and 5 over 7 because there's those. Now, and then multiply by 1,400. Multiply by 1,400. If I do that on my calculator, that gives me $400, and this one here gives me $1,000. So if I split 1,400 in the ratio 2 to 5, the first person gets 400, the second person gets 1,000. Now, the second question is, what's the smallest ratio when $2,500 is split in the ratio 5:3:2? Now, the 2 here, it just got a circle around it, is going to be the smallest one, smallest piece. But I'm going to do the same system. I'm going to think about the total number of parts, which is 10. Okay, now I'm going to make a fraction. So that's going to be 2 parts as those smallest over 10, and I'm going to times that by 2,500. And if I'm lucky, I'm going to get 500. So the person with the smallest amount in that ratio got the $500. Okay, let's have a look at rates. Okay, rates just allow us to compare quantities of different units. Okay, so what we do here is we can just have a read and show how we go. Now, you're used to doing this from science. A cyclist covers a distance of 80 kilometers in 4 hours. Calculate the cyclist speed. Pretty easy. Okay, so that's 80 divided by 4, which is 20 kilometers per hour. Okay, basically you work out what will happen in 1. A person can shell oysters at a rate of 12 per minute. How much can they shell in 4 minutes? Right, well, that's just going to be 12 times 4, isn't it? okay, because there are 12 and 4 minutes, so that's 48 oysters. So how long will them take to shell at least 200 oysters? Take the 200, divide by the 12 per minute, and that tells you 16.6 minutes. We tend to round these up, so that'll be 17 minutes in total. Okay, let's have a look at this. We're just going to pause and after I've written a few notes here, just so you know what you're doing. Okay, so ratios must be whole numbers. That's the first thing. The second thing is you find the total parts. Second thing is you make a fraction. Okay, with the ratio piece over the total part. And the third thing is if you're wanting to share, so to share, okay, you just multiply by the amount you're given. I hope that, so right now you're going to pause and get these notes down. So pause right now. Bye.